Hey there, guys. This is Was That in Good Taste, and I'm your host, Steven. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts.
And I'm Chandler.
Oh, what the fuck? I didn't turn your mic on.
You said my mic was hot.
Oh, I lied, because you're not. I don't know.
I'm not important. And I'm Chandler.
And you're Chandler. And we're here to talk about things that matter to you today. Whether it's relationships, love, food, or just, well, was that in good taste?
Yeah, it's the show about tasting things and then, asking, is that in good taste?
And the answer to that is always
no.
Is no. 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 So
That's going to get us canceled.
It's going to get us canceled. So I'm going to throw something out there. I don't know if you realize this.
Uh-huh.
We're not drinking anything.
Oh,
Do you know why, though?
Why aren't we drinking?
I'm going to tell you the real reason why.
Mm-hmm.
The long lost episode. Long night.
Oh.
The long winter. Yeah.
I think. Is it because we drank too much last night?
I think that might kind of be it.
We're impressionable children. We tend to drink
Little
way too
impressionable
much.
Children.
It's not good.
It's not good at all.
What were we drinking?
I don't remember.
Good thing I do.
Oh boy.
Pelton de la Muerte.
Oh, Pelton de la Muerte.
No, if you're gonna really say it like a gringo, you got.
Oh, you're not allowed to say that.
I could say it. I'm one. It's Pelton de la Muerte.
Well, this is I think I don't know. I feel like I want to start doing this thing. Like, this is the podcast for the week of the 10/13/2019.
What? Oh, is that the date?
Yeah. I mean, that's the week.
Oh, okay.
The beginning of the week.
That's okay.
The podcast for the week of.
For the week of October 13th, 2019. That's this year.
That's this year. The year of our Lord.
It's still going on.
It is. So we're going to do a little catch-up thing here. We're going to catch up. How you doing, Chandler?
I'm doing pretty good.
How was your week?
Oh, I had quite the eventful
week. I saw you do
week.
stand-up.
Just jumping right into it.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I did me a stand-up, and, I talked for about 5 minutes, and, it could have been worse because people laughed at this, and not in the bad way.
So now it's not right for the opinion that matters, mine. Because you were up there. Well, no, I didn't ask you, like, how did it feel, because you haven't really been keeping up doing the stand-up so much lately, right?
No, I've been a little rusty. I've been a bad stand-up.
A bad stand-up.
I've been skipping my regiment,
Which is good, because the best way to become successful at anything is to not do the thing that you're trying to be good at.
Exactly. It's to, try to come up with excuses for yourself so that you can avoid taking on any new responsibilities. And that's how you, build steps to what you want to become. And then you also take a step back and then look at all the steps that you've built for yourself. And you go, that's a lot of climbing. And then you turn around and go back to sleep.
I feel like I should have a drop for that. That's hot. I really enjoyed seeing you do stand-up. It was my first time actually seeing you do a stand-up.
How did I do? Because I kind of blacked out in the middle of it. Like, there was a point where I just forgot all the things I was planning on saying and just kind of went with what I felt like saying.
Which I think is very good because you did a very good job in my opinion. So, all right, so let's get the honest critique here. I know nothing about comedy, but as a person who's like, I guess you don't have to do something to know whether it's good or not. You came up there, kind of insecure. You told some good jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a little bit more than, a little bit less than halfway in. I wouldn't say you got lost, but if you say you blacked out, I could see it. Like, at that moment, you didn't know where to go. And instead of trying to go with the thing that you had planned normally, you went in a more naturalistic kind of thing. And I think it worked better.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what you need to do. In addition to reading the room, you kind of just have to go with how it feels. And you did a good job at doing that, know. And then you seemed like you were more comfortable, And then at the end, you did a very good job, kind of like a little ad-lib type thing going on, right? But then you tried to go back to the thing that you normally kind of do.
I tried to get back on track.
And really, you got to just you want to take the format that you have and go with it strong, but the jokes were good. They were solid. I think the kind of jokes you did were better than the other kinds of jokes the other comedians were doing.
Okay.
You know,
I appreciate that.
But like one of the guys was definitely, I would say he was more talented than you, but he was telling like Trump jokes. Like,
hey, that guy was really good though.
No, it was
had
so good.
Some really good impressions and just really good mannerisms to go along with everything that I'd say. Given your assessment, I'd say my comedy. That's hot. My comedy came off like the trolley car of comedy. Like it wasn't as good as like a commuter vehicle, you know, that can actually go and veer off in different directions and take you to new and exciting places. But it also wasn't as direct as a train that's set in its tracks. It had a rail system.
You gotta think about like this. Like when you first start driving, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you need to go on the highway. You need to learn how to merge, right? But it's very difficult. It's easy to go down a city street, right? So you get that down.
Art, really.
Yeah, it is.
Merge.
You get it down. You get what's down, and then you start going down busier streets, and you start feeling more comfortable and stuff like that. You know, so you really have to get the foundation down. Yeah. Which, by the way, I think is where like. From a lot of reading, a lot of talking to comedians, that's where the weakness is for a lot of people is that they have the format down, and then they have a lot of good shows. They do the same jokes, they punch them up perfect, but then they get caught with the surprise.
The left hook.
Yeah, their set is either too short, or they mess up a little bit, or somebody heckles them and it throws them off. So you kind of have to be flexible, you know. Yeah. You know, so you definitely have the skill, like being able to be a little flexible with it or whatever, you know. So you did a very good job. And this was the Broadway Comedy Club?
This is the Broadway Comedy Club on 53rd and between 9th and 8th
in
Avenue
New York City,
in Manhattan, New York, New York.
10002, I think. I don't know.
It's either that. Well, I know my zip code is 10036.
Oh, let people know where you live. Okay.
Well, they know the zip code, so like if they want to send me any like fan mail or anthrax, you know, they know where to get me.
They know your name too, so they'll be able to find you probably.
Oh God, I hope
there
so.
we go.
Just
yeah,
sweet release.
So you're trying to do stand up there on Mondays at 5 or 5 to 7?
Yeah, 5 is when the open mic starts usually at the Broadway Comedy Club. There's a ton of open mic. I'm trying to venture more into Greenwich Village because there's a lot more options for open mics there, you know?
Oh, you mean options that aren't a $20 cover and a 2-drink minimum?
Whoa.
With the world's worst fucking drinks ever?
Wait a minute. You can't. That might be in bad taste, Steven.
Hold on. I'm not mad at the club. I'm not mad at them because...
Then who are you mad at?
because I realize I'm kind of ridiculous. Comedy clubs, that's what they do.
They gotta make money somehow.
Not just that, but they also have to serve those kind of drinks. They don't want people being stupid, belligerent, and stuff like that or whatever. Like, they're having like comedy, which doesn't make a lot of money unless you have people who make a lot of money in your club. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of make your profit somewhere. I'm not mad at them, but I'm sorry I didn't enjoy. I like the host. I enjoyed.
A little bitter though.
Well, it was $45. I'm broke. Okay, but listen.
Okay.
But listen, I enjoyed the hostess. Okay, I enjoyed the people.
She's a lot of fun. She's good at what she do.
Yeah. Speak it to the mic, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
there we go.
There.
Yeah. I enjoyed the hostess. So it was good. It was a good experience. I actually liked the space.
It was a really fun venue. I mean, it was intimate enough to where you could have a little bit of back and forth with the audience. I mean, I heard a dude belch like midway through my set.
No, it was pretty funny. And there was this one woman in the back, an older black woman, who was into it. She was
feeling it. She was throwing out jabs back at
she was doing the thing where like she's replying to the thing like, oh yeah, I feel that. Oh yeah, you're real, yeah, child. Yeah, child.
She was fun. She was having a fun time.
She was having such a good time.
And the guy she was
negative,
with,
though.
No, it was. Everything she said was supportive. It was just, maybe untimely.
I like the. It's like, is this your husband?
Close friend.
Close friend.
Close friend. He really jumped on that grenade. Yeah, no, close friend.
Yeah, he really wanted to distance himself from that. It was a really good experience. I'm looking forward to seeing you do more of that or whatever. I'm never going to do it.
Well, I'm curious. How many open mics have you... how many comedy open mics have you been to? I know
I've been to a few comedy open mics. I've been to a few, but not as many as I've been to, like, overall just plain open mics. You know?
Gotcha.
Like, there's one called Flower Power Fridays that happens in, I think, in Long Island City. You look it up on Facebook, whatever. I know, the woman who runs it is awesome. One of my friends is always there. The people who go there, they do comedy, they do hip-hop, they do music, and it's very supportive. And I think that overall, like, having done a lot of independent, like, small concerts and open mics and stuff for, like, 15 years plus now, people are always very supportive. And in there, the people were very supportive.
Yeah.
No one was crazy. Even somebody who was there who I didn't think did well at all. Nobody laughed, but no one made any jabs. Nobody said anything terrible. Nobody
They weren't
mocked.
mercilessly. There you go. Heckled.
Yeah.
Over what they were saying.
Yeah. So I think that, it wasn't that different, Generally, though, for some reason, like, I guess because it helps make people relax, comedy with mics are holding bars and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
and comedians are depressed alcoholics, so it's a monetary decision for a lot of bars to kind of bank on that.
So since you mentioned it, this is actually an intervention.
Oh, is that what this whole podcast was based around?
Yeah.
Get me into a false sense of security just to make me feel like an asshole.
Yeah. So I really thought it was super awesome. I super loved it. The thing that I think was really interesting is, like, so I'm listening to the jokes, right? And no one was pushing any bounds. There were no boundaries crossed. Nothing really pushed. And I think that entertainment, good media, things like that or whatever, you kind of need to kind of have your expectations kind of played with a little bit. You gotta have to be pushed a little bit.
Push the envelope a little bit.
But everything they were saying, even what you did was good. But I know
safe.
you. Even though you made some illusions.
Oh,
You made some illusions. You made some allusions to some things I think that might have been a little bit more interesting. You have to play it kind of safe because the audience, you don't really know the audience.
Exactly.
But, like, why would you think the audience do you think they might react badly?
Well, what's pushing the boundaries anymore? Like, I can go up there and say every damn curse word that I know, and that's not really gonna push any buttons. Like, what's the line where it's like I can push what's kind of sacred versus what's also gonna be, a death sentence in 5 years, right?
Yeah. Last night. So I definitely will say that I feel, cause, like, even doing this sometimes it's really easy to be like, fuck. I always tell you that, like, the easiest joke to make for me, cause I'm a black guy, is like make jokes about race. It's like, oh boy, oh man, being black is difficult in America. Oh boy, I like fried chicken. Oh boy, my credit's not good.
You ever notice how black people and white people are different? Crazy, right?
Crazy, right? Women and men.
Oh, what?
What? Oh.
And then you go into a situation thinking it's heteronormative, but then it turns out it's not. What?
That's so good. I love that. But the thing is, the pushing the boundaries thing is kind of hard, So that's kind of the thing that we're kind of like talking about is like lately. I don't know if obviously people know this. This movie came out, Joker, right? Was it Todd Phillips, right? The director of The Hangover, which in its own way kind of pushed a lot of boundaries. It was kind of crazy, a little silly, very kooky. And Joaquin Phoenix,
Oh yeah, from Disney's Brother Bear.
Yeah, definitely. That's the only thing he's known for.
That's the only thing I know him from is playing the voice of Kenai in Disney's
and his more talented brother River Phoenix.
But he dead.
Ooh, too soon? Too soon?
How long ago was it?
Like 93, I think?
Oh, yeah. Like, the Holocaust was sooner.
Oh, boy. You can't say that.
Wait, was that...
No, there was not. I don't even want to...
Was that in good taste?
Roll credits. So, everybody's up in arms about this movie, about like, oh, should it have been made? Should this movie have been made? Should it have been made?
That's a bullshit-ass question.
I'm not making it up. So if you look at the show notes, which I believe are going to be at bit.ly/ I think it's gonna. I'm gonna make it up right now. I'm gonna make up the URL right now. It's gonna be bit.ly.
Sound like the
Violence,
Cookie Monster,
violence
but like
never good. No, violence never taste. That's what's gonna be. Bit.ly.
Violence never tastes.
Bit.ly / violence never taste. That's gonna be the show notes, right?
I think it should be violence never tastes so good.
That's too long. All right. So if you look at the show notes, I'm going to put in a lot of the articles. But people are up in arms about, oh, this movie, man, should never been made. And I think back to, like, you ever see Natural Born Killers?
Still haven't seen Natural Born Killers.
Natural Born Killers by,
Forget it. Give me a quick synopsis anyway.
What does it start with? Oh, my God. Oh, he works with Quentin Tarantino all the time.
Robert Rodriguez?
I don't know. Whatever. I don't give a crap. Anyway, Bonnie and Clyde. But like hard R, and like it's great.
Bonner and Clurd.
Bonner and Clurd. Clurd and Clurd.
Yeah,
and it's actually pretty. It's pretty crazy, and it's extremely violent, really interesting. It's when it really happened, they were really saying that like, oh, this is gonna be the end of everything. This is gonna be the end of.
It's gonna make Satan finally feel comfortable enough to come out of his shell. And
so I'm looking and I see we got our show notes and I see you put some stuff here I'm very interested in. Mm-hmm. Right? Correlation versus causation.
Oh yeah, that's
overconsumption. Escapism versus reaffirmation. These are good.
I bring the heat when it comes to defending violence.
Now, question.
Is
that too far?
Is the brat
yeah,
too far?
Am I encouraging people to go out and to do gang violence and to hurt other people?
That depends. Are you echoing a semi-automatic or an automatic?
I'm looking for it. Come on, you got it.
An automatic rifle? Is that or what? Or an Uzi or one of those? Or are you mimicking the Nerf revolver? Because if it's Nerf, it's nothing. But if it's
Nerf, it's nothing.
If it's Nerf, it's nothing.
I know it's definitely. I feel like I don't know. Whatever. Killing people. Gang. Gang.
Die, motherfuckers. Die, motherfuckers.
Die.
Yeah,
Woof.
it's So what's the question? Should the Joker movie
exist?
That's
really the question, I think, of the episode. Should it exist?
Nothing should exist. If we're looking at a should point of view, that being the operative word, nothing on a
within the context of the fact that we already exist.
Oh, okay.
Does this movie do harm? Does the content that people see inside of movies and television and music, does it do actual harm?
I mean,
ever.
Unless it's a snuff film, an actual movie cannot do any physical harm. That's my opinion. All right, it's a 3-step process is what it comes down to. We got 3 branches of the consumption cycle I'd like to break it down to.
All right, I'm down with this.
All right. You got the branch that makes it, the branch that produces it, and the branch that consumes it. And when you want to blame violence in media on something, you have to blame all 3 branches. The people making it, because they're making the thing putting out there that's, I guess, making people violent, which even that I put an asterisk next to. It's like
it's making them all right.
It's making them violent. We'll get into that a little bit later. Then you got the people producing it who are telling the people that make stuff what to make because they know what they can sell. and they know what will be consumed. They're the middleman in all of it. And then you have the branch that consumes it, and they create the actual demand. But the supply part is kind of like their demand is only dictated by what they know is available from the supply to a certain extent. So really everyone's to blame. Everyone. We are all terrible.
But like, is there really any real tangible evidence that the media itself is what's doing any harm?
There's no this we get into the whole correlation versus causation aspect of it, because you can't say that the media is actually causing people to go out and be more violent. You could say it's it's obscuring the line between alternate reality and our collective reality, and therefore people get lost in this kind of escapist alternate reality and find that there's a blurred difference between what's right in the world and this escapist morality, and so everyone's at fault.
So you start talking about like escapism and stuff like that. So now you're really triggering something in my mind, because in order for something to be really, I think, truly like to take you outside of the world that you live in and kind of the way that you perceive things, right? It has to kind of be rooted in reality. And I think part of the reason why Joker is so difficult for people is because it's reflecting on things that are kind of similar to what's going on today with people who suffer from things that we deal with today, right? And kind of a grounded reality.
Yeah, it's very grounded in it reaffirms certain aspects of reality. Sorry, go on.
But no, you're right. But now, what about the things like video games and music, which, because, maybe, yes, Call of Duty, No More Russians might hit a little too hard with people running into an airport and like murdering people, but like Mortal Kombat uppercutting someone into space and then they fall into a bed of spikes isn't really grounded in any kind of reality.
It's not grounded in reality, but what it allows is an escapist morality. And I think that's what we're having issues with. And again, bringing it back to causality and correlation, you have a very small percentage of the world population that has difficulty discerning reality from fantasy, and they delve into and indulge in certain escapist moralities because they feel either safer or like it's a simpler type of morality. And then when you have so much media being pumped into our consciousness, just there's the overconsumption aspect where there's a flood of this type of media, violence, and in video games and movies and music and stuff, that the small percentage that would otherwise be unengaged in certain alternate moralities end up kind of being incited by this. So it's still a small minority that it impacts, but the studies that you put up on the show notes that talked about how there's no direct causation between violence in video games and media and actual violent behaviors still cite that there's a correlation between people who already had tendencies toward violence for those tendencies to be exacerbated by those influences and those stimuli.
I've always found kind of a fault in a lot of studies whenever they say that, because they always like, oh, it exacerbates it. It makes it worse. It's like, oh, this person had violent tendencies, or was already killing cats, but then they because they were angry, they played violent video games, and it made them, and it helped. It made it worse in their mind, and allowed them to. But
it just allows for like a disassociation.
I think. But there's no way to actually gauge that.
Right.
And that's the thing that I feel really uncomfortable with when it comes to things. There's no way to actually gauge that. It's really just like
it's
opinion. It's completely opinion. There is no way to gauge, because you could say, for example, again, causation and correlation, right? He's like, okay, so this person was very angry, right? So he played lots of violent video games, and it for some reason it sparked something inside of him. He decided that he could really go shoot up his school, right? Or you could say, because we don't know what's in their mind, you could say that this person was so angry that he played violent video games, and then to kind of alleviate that anger, and it wasn't enough, so he went and shot up his school. You know what I mean? There's no real way to look at the people, even the things that they write, even their behaviors, because you're not in their mind.
Right.
You don't know how much of an impact media and music has. So now here we go. There's an article here that I put under "What the fuck is this?" All right, which it needs to be like I need like a drop, like "What the fuck is this?" By some guy, but not. I don't want to bury. I don't want to bury John McWhorter. Okay, I don't want to bury him. Okay, but I'm gonna read a small excerpt right now. Okay, I'm gonna look at and make sure I got all right. Now the mic can hear me nice and clear.
All right, read a small excerpt.
Are
we doing a bit, by the way?
I don't. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, maybe.
Read the bit.
What struck me the most, though, was how fully the boys' music, hard-edged rap, preaching bone-deep dislike of authority, provided them with a continuing soundtrack to their antisocial behavior. So completely was rap ingrained in their consciousness that so often one or another of them would break into cocky, expletive-laden rap lyrics, accompanied by the angular, bangulous gestures typical of rap performance. A couple of his buddies would then join him. Rap was running a decoration in their conversation. Then, I'm gonna skip ahead. By reinforcing the stereotypes that long hindered blacks, and by teaching young blacks that thuggish adversarial stance is the properly authentic response to a presumptuously racist society, rap retards black success. Now, I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay? Now, it's a little fair. Probably should do this on the podcast, but, this guy, this John McWhorter, right?
McWhorter?
McWhorter.
Okay.
Guess that race.
Oh, it's time to play Guess That Race. All right.
I'm gonna be honest though. We already kind of did this off so this is not genuine. Okay, I'm sorry. We missed that. No, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna pretend like we didn't do it already. Okay. All right. So tell me, Chandler, what do you think this guy's race is? This guy says that he was sitting inside of a coffee shop. He saw a bunch of young black men come in singing expletive-ridden hip-hop lyrics and gesticulating wildly with thuggish behavior.
Now, it seems like from his explanation of their thuggish behavior, he was perhaps a bit threatened by it.
I feel threatened.
Maybe perhaps intimidated physically. And, alright, okay, I'm factoring that into my answer. His name, again, what was it?
John McWhorter.
Jonathan McWhorter.
John H. McWhorter.
Oh. Well, the H clearly has to stand for Harold.
Of course.
I mean, if it stands for anything else, then they're just spelling words wrong. It's, what? I'm gonna use my phone a friend on this one. All right, hold on. Friend? Hey. Okay, hold on. I'm talking to my mom.
Okay.
Hey, Mom. No, it's me. No, I'm on Guess That Race. No, it's for the podcast. No, I have to. No, okay.
I'm sorry, your time is up. Oh.
All right. He's a white guy. Is he a white guy?
And the answer is he's black.
God damn it, Mom!
He's a black man who feels threatened by young black men listening to hip hop. Oof. Let me just ring off, by the way.
Wait, what was his last name again? Ruckus?
Oh boy. Oh boy. This is a knee slapper. Listen, okay. There's a few more articles of his. Mm-hmm. One of them, which is, does Black History Month need to exist? And there was another one that he came up with like 5 years after this. I don't want to bury him. Mm-hmm. This is 2002.
Wait, I'm curious though. Did you read the article?
I read a little bit of it.
Of the Black History.
I read a little bit of it.
What was the like thesis of it?
That it doesn't, because like racism is not that real. Like it's real, but it's not that real. He says here
his argument wasn't we should assimilate Black history
racist society.
Okay,
presumptually racist societies right here, so you can kind of tell the kind of I'm not saying that everyone is racist, but the systemic racism is very real.
It's very real.
And
it's like the turn up. It's real.
Yeah. So now you look and you see that what this guy is saying here. This black man is saying about this music. Almost as if he believes that the music is making these young men wild. Almost as if he's thinking this music is making these young men go out and behave in a bad fashion. Right. Completely disregarding the fact that the music is not, the young men aren't really reflecting the music. The music is completely reflecting the young men. Right. The music comes from the places that they come from. And the music is from people who lived the experiences that they lived. And the kids aren't gesticulating because the song is telling them so. It's because that's how they feel. They're not sagging their pants because the rapper's like, yo, 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 sag your pants. That's not what's happening.
But they're just impressionable kids. How would they pick up on these kinds of behaviors if it weren't for the rap musics?
Oh, I guess it must be the years and years of trauma passed down, from their parents.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if like redlining, shoving disenfranchised and barely released people who are slaves and segregated into small areas.
Trauma can't be passed down.
You can't pass around trauma.
It's a special thing that you hold on to and bury deep down until
inside.
You die, or it consumes you.
Or it does, and that's kind of hot. That's hot. I kind of want to make that a drop, but it's more fun just to say. It's hot. Just hot.
Would it be like a Paris Hilton? Like, that's hot.
That's
or would
hot.
It be
well,
like
that was also Paris because she had different kinds.
Right.
She had like that's hot, and then she had like also because Nicole Richie would also do it too.
But hers wasn't nearly as like impactful. Like Paris, you heard that's hot, and
that's
you're
hot.
Like, fuck yeah,
fuck yeah. That's all, you think about it. Like Paris Hilton. It's crazy. So you think about Paris Hilton, like the Kardashians and stuff, right?
She made women sluts.
Right. Oh yeah. Oh, she did. She's the reason why young women decide that want to send Snapchats of their bodies.
Exactly.
It's not because women are deciding that they have more, autonomy and that they can do what they want because it's their bodies and they can share it with whoever they want. It's not why.
No, it's because there's sexually provocative women in the media who are then corrupting the youth.
Oh yes.
And in order to do the same.
But I think that it's all bunk. It's all bullshit. Okay? And I think it's bunk. Because even when you have people like, and I'm not going to say their names because they don't matter. Because the people themselves don't matter because they're shit. But like the Christchurch shooter and the Aurora shooter and the recent Texas shooter and the Ohio and the Mandalay Bay, and you can go on and on and on and on. Yeah. These people were not like, they weren't watching television one day and they were just suddenly like radicalized by one episode of like fucking Rick and Morty. They didn't see The Bourne Identity or watch Bowling for Columbine and think I could do that better. That's
like, you know what? See a lot of myself in that guy.
That's not really how that happens, and that guy John McWhorter, I don't want to bury him because this is like 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's a long time ago that he wrote this, even though in his 2006 article about how woke hip-hop is killing the thuggishness, the thuggery in hip-hop kind of also rubbed me the wrong way, but that was also again still like over 10 years ago, And we all kind of have said things, and we've all kind of grown.
But like, what has he written lately?
Well, I looked in the last few things, like in 2011, and he won some stuff, some like NAACP, the NCAA. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Something that I think it's something to do with people. This ain't no young black man. I have no idea what the fuck this is.
Is that like
National Association?
I can't even make a joke about that because, like, how? What am I supposed to say?
I don't know, but like, so I'm not mad. I'm not trying to like say like, oh, you know, because I don't really know this person, you know. But it just rings to me of black exceptionalism. That's all I gotta say. You know, that weird, like, you know, like, hey, well, we should stay segregated because us people of color aren't ready yet. You know. Anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. Oof. That was a little 5-minute tangent. I just don't think that music is radicalizing the kids. It's not making the kids crazy. You know what I mean? I listened to rock music and metal, and I grew up in the Bronx. I used to go to these concerts, and I tell the story all the time. The first time I went to it was a church. I thought it was like an empty church. I didn't know the church was actually open. It was letting us do the concerts there. And I went there, and this band gets on stage, and the guy gets on stage, and there's like a Jesus on the wall and stuff, and there's like pictures of kids and stuff, because it's like a common area, you know, like you can rent it out and stuff. And the guy goes, "Who here loves Jesus?" And some of the crowd, some polite claps. And I'm like, oh boy. I'm not offended, but I, you know, didn't expect this. You know, what's going on?
I don't know if I love Jesus that hard.
Yeah, but okay. And then all of a sudden he goes, "Fuck Jesus." And I was like, oh shit. Oh, you know what I mean? And it didn't make me fucking go out and start burning churches down and fucking killing women. Like, you know, the violent movies. And listen, I've had 3 reparative surgeries on my face. I've been beaten, dragged, set on fire, thrown almost in front of a train, but they waited a second too late, so I hit into the side of the train. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me, and for all the violent and angry feelings that I've had and all the things I've had to struggle with in my life, none of them were increased by a movie. Like, even when I was getting beaten and dragged down the street, and I would come home fucking bloody from people beating the shit out of me, right? And then I would sit there and watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't think, man, I'm gonna fucking kill some people. I used to have a stick. I think it was like part of an old couch or something that was like, I used to keep in the couch. I was like fucking 12. I used to pretend I was slaying vampires. Okay. But I didn't take it outside and start stabbing people with it. Okay.
You never thought anyone was like truly a vampire and you were gonna take business into your own hands?
Never. So I just don't. But now other people suffer from other things, yes. Mm-hmm. And it's not fair for me to say that, you know, these things can't exacerbate. They can't make these things worse, because they can. But you really have to be in a certain place. Yeah. You really have to be, and it's not really a bad place, because we all suffer. And for some people, all it takes is one person saying the wrong thing to you to break you and make you depressed and really, really hurt you, to hurt your feelings, or to make you angry, to make you lash out, you know. So maybe, yes, you can see a movie and it can affect you, but like, it is not the cause, it is the symptom.
It is the symptom. And like you were saying, it's not a movie or a song that's going to cause some sort of grand radicalization. It's going to be the movie or the song that resonates with an already in progress
like what song,
radicalization.
What song has, like, you know, in the Middle East, what song, music video or video game is what the Arab Spring is caused by? What video? What
MIA's Bad Girls. That's the single accountable source of why the Arab Spring happened. Was she released that song, and then immediately following, Tunisia went into their revolution, followed by Egypt, and it can all be blamed on MIA.
I can see that.
Bad Girls.
I can see. I saw MIA. Wait, was that one song? That one big song by MIA?
Paper Planes.
I saw MIA played that song. It was dope.
That sounds pretty
I didn't know the rest of this. I saw Ludacris too. It was cool.
That sounds like a really good show.
Oh yeah, there's something. Also, Matt and Kim and some other bands. I'll tell you about it some other time.
Wait. So you listened to a Matt and Kim song, and then you immediately didn't go buy a log cabin in the middle of Oregon?
I thought about it. But I think, and I look at these kind of things, and I kind of don't really understand. But now, I'm a hypocrite. I'm totally, oh, look at that. I got a little hum going on. Oh boy, look at that. I'm fudging with the mic. Yeah, let's hear this live. Oh, that's hot.
Are you done diddling with it?
It doesn't hum anymore.
Okay.
So I put 6ix9ine on this little list here on the show notes for a reason.
Mr.
Tekashi, Daniel Hernandez. He lives at 445. Listen, they all know where he lives. It's game over for him when he gets out.
He's fucked.
It's game over. Here's the thing, right? So now I'm a hypocrite because I said, I don't see it. There's no court, but I'm also going to completely contradict myself right now. So don't at me, bro. He wanted to get clout because he wanted to be popular in hip hop, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and so he allowed the medium of hip hop and the things in hip hop to kind of like affect him, right? He allowed himself to be like, well, I want to be gangster because he feels, I think, well, he said it in his tell-all testimony, which is going to be a book coming out next summer called I Told All My Friends by Daniel Hernandez. You can pre-order on Amazon.
Is it published by the same group who did If I Did It by OJ?
I think it might be.
Okay.
Right? So you look at that, right? And it's like, okay, you have this guy who idealized hip-hop and wanted to be a rapper. So what he did is he decided to join a gang and shoot at people.
In order to be more hip-hop.
Which is, in a way, because the reality is that no one really cares if you're a gangster. Only if you care, only if you seem like one, kind of, right? Nobody really cares. But he kind of believed that he kind of had to really be one. So he was affected by it.
Oh, hip-hop made him do it.
You know.
Or, sorry, gangsta rap made him do it.
In its own little way. In its own little way, it did. In its own
little way.
So now that I have said that, can we make it a little argument, a little devil's advocate for like how media can really, really, really directly negatively affect people like that?
I'm not denying, and I don't think anyone should deny the sense that media can have a negative impact on people. That's it. The media has a responsibility to report the truth to a certain extent. I guess that's like the news media. As far as artistic mediums and artistic media, their responsibility is more to reflect creativity and to kind of use that creativity to distort their perspective of reality. And if people can't acknowledge that distortion, then that's kind of on them, right? You'd think so. If people can't read your art the way it's supposed to be read, then...
So now you're kind of hitting me with something I didn't think... I'm still I didn't think to talk about. Like, how much responsibility really is it of the creator of the art?
I'd say about a third.
Really?
It's 1/3 the responsibility of the creator, the art's creator. It's 1/3 the responsibility of the art's producer or whoever publicizes it. And it'd be another third.
I don't know, because
to the consumer of the art.
To me, the producer and the creator are so tied in that seems like
you'd think that, but given dire enough circumstances, the producer or the creator of the art can circumvent the producer if the demand is great enough, and so they kind of hold a key role, but they have the gatekeeper role. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the gatekeeper himself might not be all that important, but the gate's pretty damn important.
But who decides, I guess, then what should be let through the gate? Like, who decides that the art, for example, again, Lenny Bruce, right? Mm-hmm. The 7 words. The reason why you can't say fuck, you can say asshole, but not ass. Right? You can call someone a bitch, But
because an asshole is anatomical.
I guess, but you can say like certain words, but you can't say others because of him, right?
Because eating ass is cannibalism, but eating asshole is erotic.
I guess.
I think that's the difference.
No, but you wouldn't be able to say eating
cannibalism.
on you wouldn't be you could call somebody an asshole on broadcast TV, but you couldn't say you were eating their asshole.
Oh.
Right? But here's the thing, like who decides that who really decides? Who is the gatekeeper, right? Because people always know what's best for us, don't they? People always know.
The most vocal consumers, wouldn't it?
You would say that, and this is why this is why I think Trump won. Okay?
Huh.
This is why. Because the people because like one of the comedians at the open mic, he was like, who here voted for Trump? And nobody rose their hand. He's like, nobody ever wants to cop to it, right? That's kind of true. Because the people who are silent about it, the people who have misgivings about what people who are speaking the loudest are saying, about people who don't really agree with them, right? They don't want to maybe have the confrontation, they might not want to, so these people who weren't vocal, right? But they still have power. They still have the ability to use their vote, right? So in that instance, that's their voice, is their vote.
Their vote, or I guess in a sense, their tunage in a Nielsen sense.
Yeah, so that's why you can spend your money. It's, for example, like it's kind of so like you can spend your money on. Now you can not be part of the vocal majority, but you can spend your money silently and support creators that you like. You can support the creators that you like. And that's why we get into a lot of trouble because
into more private interests.
Yeah. Like who decides? Who is the one who's allowed to be like, you cannot listen to this medium because it's going to harm you. 1993, Hillary Clinton and who's that? Not RuPaul. What's the name? Whatever. The Senate Judiciary thing with Mortal Kombat, and they're talking about how violent video games are going to destroy the world when video games have now become a bigger industry than movies.
Yeah.
Right.
And a bigger industry than the NFL
And is it killing anyone? Or would you actively say that like, wow, yes, you can, let's say 100%. 1% of the people who play video games have some real adverse. This is obviously anecdotal, but like a real adverse effect or behavior associated with video games, right? Who decides? Because if they would have decided in 1993, there would be no Call of Duty.
Right.
If these people had decided, who decides? Well, and that's why I think that the artist, that 1/3, I don't know how much responsibility the artist actually has. I think that the artist has, so for example, I am kind of the artist and the gatekeeper, right? Yesterday, we recorded some crazy stuff, and it wasn't really, like...
I think we talked about my dick size at one point.
Yeah, it wasn't really...
I don't quite remember.
Oh, yeah, you did. And it wasn't super, like... mega, like it wasn't anti-Semitic or anything like that, but it was like four people
playfully anti-Semitic.
Yeah. It's 4 people in front of 2 mics, trying something new, and it wasn't really organized very well and stuff like that. And some of the stuff I think just like doesn't really reflect my values, right? So I don't really want to post it like that in its whole form. Like I might take a clip of it or something, but I don't want to like use the whole thing, So I, as the artist, kind of decided that on my own,
right?
But like if I hadn't, I think that'd also be okay, because the artists, once they create the art, it's completely out of their hands. It doesn't matter what the intention is. It's matter.
Out of their hands.
It's completely out of their hands. They like, and I know it's weird because you look at like movies and stuff, but it's not really the art of one person. Well,
you got at least 3 different hands in the soup.
I'm gonna say even more than that. I will say hundreds, because you really have to go to the writer, the co-write, the rewriting, and the punching up, and the associate producers, the executive associate producers, and et cetera, and there's a little bit of each person's art inside of it, but that's why those get kind of muddled and people get confused. But that's not really it's not really Todd Phillips' sole, like, artistic endeavor to produce Joker, because there were other people invested in it, because he didn't write it. He directed it.
Exactly.
And he helped punch up the writing, but he's not the writer of the movie, and he's not the sole producer of the movie, and he's not the grip, and he's not the lead boy. He's not all those things, so that's...
What does the best boy do?
It's all electrical shit. It's literally just all electrical shit, right? So you look at that, right? And it's like, okay, how much responsibility do each one of those individuals have? The job of an artist is to create art.
Yeah.
And then that's it. And then it's up to us to kind of how, like, some people are like, oh, it shouldn't have been made. Now, maybe I don't think you should make a snuff film. You know what I mean? I really don't think you should, but if you made one...
I like how you started it, though, with maybe you shouldn't make a snuff film. Unless it's done tastefully,
Yeah, unless it's done but, like, if
you were really gearing up for a butt there.
So, like, all right, you do a snuff film, right?
Okay.
Now, if you asked me...
Walk me through your snuff film.
He's a young man. About 23 years old. Eastern European descent. I don't know. Anyway. Anyway. So here's the thing, right? Is that, all right. So if you were to, upon your own, create a snuff film and you were to put it out, right? Mm-hmm. The job of the artist is done. Now, there's social implications and stuff like that, but let's just say that the snuff film just exists as a piece of art, right? And someone considers it art. We as a society are like, to that's not good. We don't want to look at that. We don't want to have that in our lives. We think that the harm that's done to the people is not good, right? But that's what we decide.
That's we as the consumer.
Yeah, that's we as the consumer, we as society. But the artist has nothing really to do with it. They did their job.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, then you also have the third, or the second step in the program. That would be the producer, who would then distribute that snuff film.
But we live in weird times now, where before you made a movie and you had to make music, you had to go through a music label. But now, like, Google's a producer. How much responsibility do they have? I think they should have none.
But they do have a certain responsibility to not show stuff that...
But who decides that? And that's where the big problem...
Google.
That's where the big problem... Well, I mean, because they're a private organization.
They have their own, like, what is it? Arithmetics.
Well, but here's the thing, is that what they were doing before is that they were just... Like, they were deciding, like, oh, this thing is really, really harmful. No, everything else is fine, right? Mm-hmm. But then they get pushed on by the EU. They get pushed on by groups and rights groups and stuff like that. But they're not really a producer. They're less a producer, more of a road. You know what I mean?
They're a platform.
Yeah, they're really a platform. You don't take a sledgehammer to the concrete because someone was murdered there, or because someone who did something wrong drove over it. You know what I mean? Like, Google is just a transmission system. You know what I mean? They don't produce the content, and they don't really, in my opinion, have any actual responsibility to that. And that's when it comes to, because we live in...
They're not held accountable currently.
Well, no, they definitely, that's not true. They are.
Should they have?
Well, they are trying to be held accountable by, like, the EU especially, but should they be, is weird, because
should they be able to extend that accountability to the content creators as well? Well,
here's the thing, is that's why we have laws, right?
Right.
Google just provides the space for you to put your thing, right? And then if you're on YouTube, for example, you have the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, and if you steal things, like Alex Bondarev is my friend, he lets me use his music for this podcast, right? Mm-hmm. But when I put the podcast on YouTube, it gets demonetized, or actually it stays monetized, but he gets the money, even though nobody listens to it. YouTube Habit of Wellness, nobody subscribes to it, but I just put it there just in case, and he would get the money.
That's Habit of Wellness on YouTube.com.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody looks, but if they did, he would get the money, right? And I could speak to him, and I could have him click a little thing and say that it's okay for me, right? But that's their, like, system looking at my thing and saying, like, oh, this is kind of like might not be illegal, so this is a thing that we have with, like, the copyright holders and stuff like that to do. But it's weird and kind of like off the left. We have laws for these things, and these platforms exist just as a transmission service. When you write an article, should Google not use its crawlers and algorithms to find your link? And if somebody searches for how to murder, Indonesian people, granted, maybe they should have a thing under it that says
you have to use I
don't know. I picked a random. I don't know
how to murder Indonesian people. If you don't have saying. Indonesian, Malaysian will do just fine.
But like, did you? Oh no, the Google saves the Google thing is like, did you mean Malaysian? No, but you look right. Hold on.
Did you mean Tibetan?
Right? So you look at it,
China,
right? Like, maybe they could have a thing under it that says, if you were looking for this, maybe if you were looking to do harm, you shouldn't. But should they not serve you the URL to that webpage? I can't
tell you how many times I've had Clippy, the little paperclip, pop up. And it looks like you're writing a ransom note. Are you sure you want to use this font? It's somewhat Google's responsibility to make sure that they're not putting murder porn up on their site regularly. But it's also, kind of the responsibility of the creators.
Ooh, I got you. So think about this. YouTube is their video platform, right? Mm-hmm. So they can make rules about the kind of content they have on YouTube, right? Google Docs is the thing in Google Drive. They offer you pay them some money to store your information, right?
Right.
Should they be allowed to look in your information? Should they be allowed to look in your information and see that the things that you create and the art that you create might be harmful?
Should they legally be allowed to? Legally, because they're renting out that space?
Well, yes. They can decide to do whatever they want.
Yeah, I think
they should, but I mean, they're able to.
I think they should be able to. Whether or not they use that ability, I think, should be severely frowned upon.
Because, who decides? Like, really, who decides? What takes? For example, people who have their, I use Pinecast to host this, right? Mm-hmm. If they decide that the content that we create does not fit their brand, they can delete it, right? Yeah. But they're only a platform, and they would never do that. I could literally make a Hitler podcast.
But I think if they wanted to, they ought to have the right to do it. I think it's a dick move. I think it's a major dick move.
But should they? That's really the question. Should they? Do they really? No, not that. Do they really have the is it really their responsibility to decide who creates what art and who consumes what art?
That's the whole point of being a gatekeeper. If you're just gonna be a shit gatekeeper, then why is there a gate?
I guess
we've technologically speaking, I guess we've kind of knocked down that wall a bit, but there's still a moat. There, we may have knocked down the wall, but there's still a moat there, and there is a definite discrepancy between the amount of art that is made and the amount of art that is then consumed and made popular and is publicized and propagated as such. It's still the big music labels are the ones making these big records. They're still producing
but
stuff.
Are they really, though?
They are. They may...
Chance the Rapper?
He's the exception, not the rule.
I don't know, because, I mean, he seems like the exception, but this is becoming the norm, right? Kevin Smith wanted to produce Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Nobody wanted to do it, so he did it himself.
He did the Kickstarter?
He did the Kickstarter. He does all these things. He uses his own money. And nobody asked for this.
But there was a movie production team that went into all of the work that he did prior to Jay and Silent Bob.
What about this? Nobody asked for this. I decided no one asked for this. Mm-hmm. But we do this, right? Mm-hmm. And we're producing this,
Mm-hmm.
and it's us, right? Who said we can't do? Who says? And we're doing it independently. There's no one producing us. There's no one telling us what we can and cannot do. There's no one other than us advertising for us and pushing for us.
Well, I mean, for me, that's just you.
Yeah, but
you're the man in this situation.
But I think that
you're holding me back. Why can't I just rage against the you?
I know, right? But you know what? I guess damn it. I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I would not want you if you started spooning up some anti-Semitic. I mean, you're Jewish, so you could.
I can't get away with it.
If you drop the, nigger with the hard R.
Oh, make everyone feel uncomfortable in the room.
If you did that, I think that I would probably, even though, like, if you were in your house and you were rapping some songs and you dropped the nigga, I probably wouldn't be upset. I probably wouldn't want you to say it on the podcast because I just don't think...
Because you don't think it meshes with our brand and with your brand, and you don't think our consumers would respond appropriately to if I were to say... But if I was the person like producing if I was the person who was just like producing the content, I think I would just be like, listen, that's what you want to do it. And I think that like the returns of Joker, whether I think it might come close. It's like, and it's over $500 million now. It's over $500 million. Huh. It can come close to it can come close to the $700-800 million mark. I just had this thought that we've also talked about earlier before the show that I'm now pretending is a new thought. So like you were saying, who decides what's bad and what's good, what's damaging and what's not? We have the Joker, which about how many people would you say die in the movie?
3, 4. I'm reading about it a lot. 3, 4, 5. I don't know, maybe 5 people.
Okay, 5 people. It's a weak ass body count compared to
I agree.
Rambo and Predator and Guardians of the Galaxy and Avengers.
I swear, like in Avengers, I feel like
that's even a weak ass body count compared to The Departed.
Did you not see the third Avengers movie? Spoilers for a movie that came out last year now. Like,
I still haven't seen it.
Half the people, half of everyone who ever existed vanished.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like but like we were talking about before.
I think it comes back to the whole: what aspects of reality are we trying to reaffirm with this art, and what aspects of reality are we trying to escape with this art? And movies like The Joker make it easy to conflate the two, and I think that's what concerns people.
Yeah, because I think I agree with you, because it's not only is it like very realistic, like grounded in reality, but like it's not. It's really not. It's a completely different world.
It's completely different reality, and that's the escapism part.
But it seems so real, and it seems so connected to the kind of things that are happening in today's world. And everyone that I listen to all these podcasts and stuff, they all say the same thing. They all go, I think this is a great movie, but I'm scared to say that I like it. They're scared to say that they like the movie, because some people say the movie is good, but it makes them too uncomfortable, which is fair. But some others seem to be just scared to say that they like it.
Weak.
Because they don't want to perpetrate some sort of, I don't know, like...
What, they don't?
They don't want to be like, I guess if they say that the movie's good, they're... You know what? Everybody's afraid that somebody's going to be like, this movie, I'm going to become the Joker.
Everyone's afraid of a Mexican Joker.
Everyone's afraid of a Mexican Joker. Well, I'm going to ask you...
Do I need to explain the reference?
No.
Okay.
No. South Park.
Okay.
Episode 2 of this season. Should the movie have been made? I don't know. That should be made. But is it a problem? I don't think so.
Nah.
I don't think so.
Should Isle of Dogs have been made? I don't know.
I kind of want to see it, though.
I'm going to bring it back to one of my favorite violent movies of all time. Rubber.
Rubber?
Rubber. Did you ever see that movie?
No.
It was about a tire that gains sentience.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And telekinetic powers. But the beginning of the movie starts out with just the most ridiculous, concept. One of the main characters drives up, and there's a bunch of chairs on the road, and he's swerving around the road to hit each and every one of the chairs, and then he hops out of the trunk with a glass of water, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, you're about to embark on this story as an ode to no reason." And he lists off like 4 or 5 different movies, like, why is it that in E.T., the alien in the movie was brown? No reason. Why is it that in whatever the fucking movie, the president gets shot by some random no-name stranger? It was a movie about JFK. Mm-hmm. It's no reason. Why is it that in Apollo 13, the crew makes it back alive? No fucking reason. This movie is an ode to no reason. And then the movie proceeds to be just a complete and utter mindfuck. And it's pretty violent too. Like, the first thing the tire does once it's gained sentience is it's rolling up and it sees a raven picking at a carcass, and it focuses on the raven with all of its telekinetic tire powers. And it starts reverberating and vibrating and jiggling, and all of a sudden, the raven just fucking explodes.
Oh, I felt it before you even said it, but I love it.
Just like and done. Like feathers, and it's gone. And it proceeds and it learns its powers, but eventually learns that it can use its powers against humans.
Oh no.
And so you have now a sentient telekinetic tire that's going on a murdering spree for no fucking reason.
Oh Lord.
And after I watched that movie, did I get up and think, you know what? I should go on a murdering spree for no reason. No, I just decided to treat my tires a little bit better. That was my reaction to the movie.
Oh boy.
I made sure they had adequate air. I made sure their treading was good. I rotated them.
Jesus Christ. Wow. Well, Rubber. I think wow. We have to wrap up on that. That is
So should Joker have been made? That question doesn't matter. It was made, but why was it made? No fucking reason.
And no reason. And guess what? People liked it. And you know what? If someone does harm to someone because of it,
you want to know why it'll be?
Why?
For no fucking reason.
Well, I think, yeah, that's it. No fucking reason. I
don't know.
So,
you like my best friend, dude.
There's no reason at all. So, I guess, this has been, Steven.
And I'm Chandler.
And, this was in good taste.
This wasn't good taste?
Nah.
This
was.
This
time I think it was.
Was that in good taste?
This was that in good taste. And of course, you can follow us on you can follow me, because I do all the stuff right now. Twitter.com/theartofgiving-up. And if you're listening to this, you're probably also be listening to my other podcast, The Art of Giving Up. Just do it, DA Art of Giving Up on Twitter.com. Was that in good taste? 2019 at gmail.com.
Oh, and if you ever want to see or read any material that isn't distinctly dictated by the guise of Steven's oppressive productive authority, you can check out the Humble Bumble Bear.
HumbleBumbleBear.com.
Yeah.
.com.
That's where, free speech is free. Freedom ain't free, bro.
Yeah. Nobody did any Joker. We didn't do any Joker. Fucking like we didn't make any like impressions this entire episode. So quick, we have.
What do we have?
Got like 1 minute left. Okay, I want you to hit me with your Joker. That's it.
That was fun.
That's it. Game over.